Everybody, Mike Gillette here, and I'm contemplating opportunities, contemplating readiness, as in being ready for opportunities. People talk about, when opportunity knocks, you got to be ready. And it's on my mind tonight because tonight I am in the last stages of packing up for my trip this weekend to the Arnold Fitness Expo. If you're not familiar with the Arnold, it is an event that started 30 years ago as a bodybuilding competition in Columbus, Ohio, and has just subsequently morphed into the world's largest fitness trade show to the point where there's a US based version, one in Europe, one in Asia, one in Australia. It's just this enormous thing. And the US based version is basically taken over the city of Columbus. It's just madness in a good way. Just lots of things going on, all kinds of sports competitions, lots of things going on for young people. It's really pretty cool. So I'm going there to present over the course of several days. And because I'm packing things like, copies of my books and steel bars, which are all sort of, rolled up and padded for the trip, and concrete blocks, because in my presentations, which will focus on mental performance and mindset, I'll also be doing some strength stunts, basically some real time demonstrations of what it is that I espouse. And none of this is the result of a specific plan I made. It was simply an opportunity that I was ready for. And I was contacted by the event planners some time back. And the reason that I was contacted was not because I had any connectivity with the event or any of those people whatsoever. It's because one of them had seen this, which is my DVD set called Strength Psychology, which is sort of a video course of a lot of the mental strategies that you would find in Mind Boss, or in my larger video courses available online. So that's a realm that I spend a lot of time in. It's a realm I spend a lot of time working with others on improving. And I guess the product made a sufficient enough impression on those people that they reached out to me about the prospect of potentially appearing at their event. I was very gratified to get the invitation, and that's why I'm preparing to leave now. The Once I get there, who knows what's going to happen? I'll be presenting alongside some famous people. Randy Couture, UFC Hall of Famer and now actor. I think he still has a clothing line too, if I'm not mistaken. Ronda Rousey, UFC legendary fighter. I think she's now jumped from acting and into like professional wrestling and so forth. So she isn't slowing down. And other celebrities to be announced. I'll be attending an event Friday evening that is hosted by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm told he will be there. And who knows, I may find myself, sharing a cigar with the Governator himself. Now, the point about all of this is there will be a lot of significant people who operate in areas that are relevant to me. People who are in the sports world, the fitness industry and so forth. I have connectivity with those industries, and there may be an opportunity that arises simply because of this nexus of people at this particular event. And if such an opportunity arises, I'm going to do my very best to be ready for it. And while I have any number of entries on my resume that I could point to and say that and that and that were all the result of being, very focused and having a very specific objective that I was working to. This, and this was simply I was in the right place at the right time, but I was ready. I was ready to deliver. And I guess an example of not being ready. In fact, I think I make this analogy in Mind Boss, is once upon a time, myself and members of my family would gather around the TV and watch Fox television to see American Idol back in its heyday. And the the sort of harrowing segment of any of those early seasons were, of course, the auditions, when you would see people who had, it seemed, very little self-awareness about, where they stacked up in the, musical talent hierarchy, and yet they would, subject themselves and others to singing that was not really likely to be embraced by much of anyone. And what always surprised me was how surprised they would be when their auditions weren't successful. As though they never had the opportunity to ever listen to a recording of themselves or see themselves on video and see just how not good they were in that particular area. So when they would say things like, "But this is all I've ever wanted to do. Music is my life," which is great. I understand ambition, and ambition's great, but self-awareness is also great. You have to understand where you stack up in terms of talent and skill and any other relevant attribute that may govern success in a particular arena. So, in my case, I try to play to my strengths. I try to talk about what I know about and not portray myself in ways that aren't consistent with my experience and in my training. So, in an effort to stay ready, to be ready for the opportunities that seem to come my way periodically. But I've been able to capitalize on those opportunities simply because I've been well prepared. I don't operate in areas where I shouldn't, where I'm not appropriately skilled, and there's a lesson there. If you haven't had the requisite opportunities that perhaps you feel you're due, have you been keeping yourself ready? Or have you been aware of those opportunities as they've presented themselves? Because you can have all of the capability in the world, but if you don't recognize an opportunity as it's unfolding in front of you, you're not going to be able to really jump on that and make something from that, make something meaningful. So I'm going to do my very best to be ready for any prospective opportunity that may come my way in the next few days, and also to be ready for no opportunities to come my way other than to present as effectively as I can to hopefully make the event planners happy that they've got me there, and also to enjoy my time while I'm in Columbus. I'm going to be seeing some people who I know and haven't seen in a while. That will be great. I get to travel with my wife and my youngest daughter. That's going to be great. So it's a win-win regardless of what happens. But in the back of my mind, in case there is that opportunity that just starts to push open a door, I'll be ready for it. I hope you stay ready for your opportunities as well.